If you're watching this video right now, I want you to know something important. You are closer to fluency than you think. Most English learners never realize this. It's not your grammar that's holding you back. It's not your vocabulary either. The real reason you hesitate before speaking is fear. Fear of making a mistake, fear of being judged, fear of not sounding good enough. But here's the truth nobody tells you. Every confident English speaker you admire today was once silent, nervous, and unsure, just like you. This lesson can change the way you speak English forever, because today, you're going to discover a simple daily habit that has helped thousands of learners go from silently understanding English to confidently speaking it. This isn't about memorizing more words. It's about training your mouth, your ears, and your mind to work together, the same way athletes train their bodies for a race. Think about it. How many times have you understood a movie, a podcast, or a conversation perfectly, but the moment someone asked you a question, your mind went blank? That's not a language problem. That's a speaking practice problem, and it has a solution. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly why shadowing, repeating what you hear, the way you hear it, is one of the most powerful tools for building real, natural fluency. You will see how small, consistent effort compounds into confidence. You will feel motivated to open your mouth and speak without waiting for the right moment. Because the right moment is now. So take a breath. Sit up. Because today is day 166 of this journey, and whether you've been with us since day one or you're just joining today, this lesson is exactly what you need to move one step closer to becoming the confident English speaker you were always meant to be. Let's begin with the first powerful truth that will change how you practice forever. Let's talk about something most English learners never admit out loud, not because they don't know it, but because they don't even realize it's happening. There is a silent mistake, one that has nothing to do with grammar rules or vocabulary lists, and it is quietly keeping you stuck at the same level for months, sometimes even years. That mistake is this: you have been training yourself to understand English, but you have never trained yourself to produce it. Think about your daily habits. You watch English videos, you listen to podcasts, you read articles, maybe even books. Your brain is absorbing English every single day, and that's wonderful. That's necessary. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Listening and reading are passive skills. Speaking is active, and no amount of passive input will automatically turn into active output. It's like watching thousands of hours of cooking videos and expecting to become a chef without ever stepping into the kitchen. You might understand every technique perfectly in your mind, but your hands still don't know the motion. Your mouth still doesn't know the shape of the words. This is why so many learners say the exact same painful sentence. I understand everything, but I can't speak. If this is you, please hear me clearly. You are not broken and you are not slow. You have simply been missing one piece of the puzzle. Your ears have been working hard, but your mouth has been resting. Speaking English fluently is a physical skill, not just a mental one. Your tongue, your lips, your breath, even the muscles in your jaw need repetition to move naturally. Through English sounds, sounds that may not even exist in your native language. Just like a muscle that has never been exercised, your speaking muscle feels stiff, slow, and unsure the first 100 times you use it. That stiffness is not a sign of failure. It is a sign that you simply haven't practiced the actual act of speaking enough. The moment you understand this, everything changes. You stop blaming yourself for not being good at English, and you start recognizing the real gap, the practice gap. And once you know exactly what the problem is, fixing it becomes so much simpler because now you're not guessing anymore. You're not randomly hoping fluency will appear one day. You're targeting the real issue with the real solution. So today, let this be the moment you stop judging yourself for silence and start seeing it for what it truly is, an unused skill waiting to be activated. You already have so much English inside you from all that listening and reading. Now it's time to give it a voice. And in the next section, I'll show you exactly why simply listening more will never be enough to unlock that voice and what you need to do instead. Here's a question I want you to sit with for a moment. If listening was truly enough to make someone fluent, wouldn't every person who has watched hundreds of English movies already be speaking fluently by now? Wouldn't every learner who has listened to thousands of hours of podcasts already sound confident in conversations? But that's not what happens, is it? Many learners listen for years and still freeze the moment they need to say something out loud. This isn't because listening is useless. It's because listening alone was never designed to teach you how to speak. Here's why. When you listen, your brain is doing recognition work. It hears a sound, matches it to a meaning you already know, and moves on. This is an incredible skill, and yes, it's the foundation of language learning. But recognition and production live in completely different parts of your brain, and they require completely different types of training. Recognizing the word comfortable when you hear it is not the same skill as being able to say it smoothly with the right rhythm, the right stress, and the right confidence in the middle of a live conversation. One is passive absorption. The other is active creation, and creation always demands practice, not just exposure. Think of it this way. Reading music is not the same as playing an instrument. You can study sheet music for years, understand every note, every rhythm, every symbol perfectly, but if you've never actually placed your fingers on the keys and played, you will not be able to perform when someone asks you to. Speaking English works exactly the same way. Understanding is reading the music. Speaking is playing it live, in real time, with real emotion. This is precisely why so many learners describe the same frustrating experience. They can follow a fast conversation in English. They can understand native speakers in movies without subtitles. And yet the moment they need to respond, their mind goes blank and their mouth feels frozen. It's not a lack of intelligence, it's not a lack of knowledge. It is simply an untrained skill, the skill of live, spontaneous speech production that listening alone was never built to develop. The good news? Once you understand this, you stop wasting time and energy blaming your vocabulary or your grammar, knowledge which are usually already good enough. Instead, you start focusing your energy on the one thing that actually moves the needle. Active speaking practice, not passive watching, not silent understanding. Actual out loud, repeated speaking, even if it feels awkward at first, even if you're alone in your room repeating sentences to yourself. This shift in understanding is powerful because it means fluency isn't some mysterious gift given to naturally talented people. It's a trainable skill built through the right kind of practice. And that leads us perfectly into the method that bridges this exact gap between understanding and speaking, a method confident speakers around the world swear by, which we'll explore next. Now that you understand the real gap between understanding English and speaking it, let's talk about the bridge that connects the two. A simple, powerful technique called shadowing. If you've never heard this word before, don't worry. By the end of this section, it's going to make perfect sense, and you might even feel a little excited to try it for yourself right after this video. Shadowing means listening to a native speaker and repeating what they say almost at the same time, matching their words, their rhythm, their pauses, and their tone. Like you're literally becoming their shadow. Not translating, not analyzing grammar, just copying the sound, the flow, and the music of their speech as closely as you can, in real time. Why does this work so well? Because shadowing forces your brain to do something listening alone never does. It makes you produce sound while processing meaning at the same time. Your mouth has to move, your breath has to adjust, your tongue has to find the right position for sounds that might feel unfamiliar. This is the exact physical training we talked about earlier. The speaking muscle workout your mouth has been missing. But shadowing does something even deeper than muscle memory. It trains your ear and your voice together at the same moment. So you start naturally absorbing the rhythm of English, where native speakers pause, which words they stress, how their voice rises and falls in a sentence. This is something textbooks can almost never teach you, because rhythm and intonation aren't rules you memorize. They're patterns you absorb through repetition, the same way a child learns to speak by copying the voices around them, long before they ever learn a single grammar rule. This is exactly why so many confident, fluent English speakers, even those who once struggled just like you, point back to shadowing as the turning point in their journey. Not because it's a secret trick, but because it directly targets the missing piece: real-time speech production. It takes everything you've already absorbed from listening and reading and finally gives it a voice, a rhythm, and a natural flow. And here's the most encouraging part. Shadowing doesn't require perfection. You don't need to sound exactly like a native speaker on your first try, your 10th try, or even your 50th try. What matters is consistency. Every single time you shadow a sentence, you are literally reshaping the way your mouth moves, the way your ear listens, and the way your confidence grows. It's practice with a purpose, not random repetition. So if you've been listening for years and still feel stuck, shadowing is the missing link you've been searching for. It's simple, it's practical, and it's something you can start today with any video, podcast, or audio you enjoy. And next, I'll show you exactly how to train your mouth, the same intentional way you train your mind, so this practice becomes a habit that truly transforms the way you speak. Let's talk about something most learners overlook completely. Your mouth needs training just as much as your brain does. We spend so much time studying grammar rules, memorizing vocabulary lists, and reviewing sentence structures, feeding our minds constantly. But we almost never think about physically training the muscles that actually produce speech. And this is exactly why so many learners feel that strange, frustrating gap between knowing English and speaking it smoothly. Think about anyone who has mastered a physical skill: a pianist, a dancer, an athlete. They didn't become skilled just by understanding the theory. A pianist can memorize every note on a page, but their fingers still need thousands of repetitions before the movement becomes natural, smooth, and automatic. A basketball player can understand the perfect shooting form in their mind, but their body needs to practice that exact motion again and again before it becomes instinct under pressure. Speaking English works exactly the same way. Your mouth, tongue, and jaw need repeated movement to produce unfamiliar sounds smoothly without you having to think about each one. This is why some sounds in English might feel awkward or even uncomfortable at first. Sounds like th or certain vowel combinations that don't exist in your native language. That discomfort isn't a sign that you're bad at English. It's simply a sign that those specific muscles haven't been trained yet. And muscles, even the tiny ones involved in speech, respond to repetition, not just understanding. So how do you train your mouth intentionally? It starts with speaking out loud, consistently, even when no one is listening. Read sentences aloud instead of silently. Repeat phrases from your favorite shows instead of just watching them. Practice tricky words slowly at first, exaggerating the mouth movement, then gradually speed up as it starts to feel natural. This might feel a little silly in the beginning. Many learners feel shy talking to themselves. But this exact discomfort is where real progress quietly begins. Here's something incredibly encouraging. Just like your mind needed structured practice to learn grammar or vocabulary, your mouth needs the same structured, patient approach. Not perfection, not pressure, just consistent, intentional repetition. Every time you speak a sentence out loud, even if it feels clumsy, you are literally reshaping the neural pathways between your brain and your speech muscles. Over time, what once felt foreign begins to feel automatic. This is the missing training routine most learners never realize they need. You've spent so much energy training your mind to understand English. Now it's time to give equal attention to training your mouth to produce it naturally and confidently. And when you combine this physical practice with the shadowing technique we just talked about, something beautiful happens. Your listening, your understanding, and your speaking finally start working together as one connected system instead of three separate skills competing for your attention. And once that happens, all it takes is consistency, which brings us to the final, most important truth about building real speaking confidence. Here is a truth that might surprise you. You don't need hours of practice every day to become a confident English speaker. You don't need to lock yourself away for months, studying nonstop, sacrificing your entire life for fluency. What you actually need is something much simpler, much more sustainable, and honestly, much more achievable, small, consistent, daily practice. Think about the biggest changes in your life so far. Chances are they didn't happen overnight. They happened through small actions, repeated so many times that they eventually became who you are. Fluency works exactly the same way. 10 minutes of shadowing today. 5 sentences spoken out loud tomorrow. A short conversation with yourself in the mirror the day after. None of these moments feel dramatic on their own, but stacked together, day after day, week after week, they quietly build something powerful. A speaker who no longer freezes, no longer hesitates, no longer feels afraid to open their mouth. This is where so many learners go wrong, and I want you to release this pressure right now. They believe fluency requires massive, intense effort in short bursts, cramming for a weekend, then giving up because it feels exhausting or unsustainable. But real lasting fluency isn't built through intensity, it's built through consistency. A little bit of speaking practice today is worth more than 3 hours of practice once a month, because your mouth, your ears, and your confidence need frequent, gentle repetition, not occasional, overwhelming effort. Here's something else worth remembering. Confidence doesn't arrive first and then push you to speak. It's the opposite. You speak first, clumsily, imperfectly, nervously, and confidence grows quietly in the background. As a result, every single person you admire for their fluent, natural English went through this exact same process. They didn't wait to feel ready. They practiced daily, made mistakes daily, and slowly, without even noticing the exact moment it happened, they became fluent. So here's your gentle challenge, starting today. Choose just one small English speaking practice you can realistically do every single day. It could be shadowing one short video. It could be reading one paragraph out loud. It could be describing your day in English for 2 minutes before bed. It doesn't need to be big. It just needs to be consistent. Remember, this is day 166 of this journey together, which means real transformation is already happening for so many people following along. One small day at a time, wherever you are in your own journey. Whether you're just starting, or you've been practicing for months, know this: you are far more capable than you feel right now. Your voice, your confidence, and your fluency are not faraway dreams. They are being built quietly, one small daily practice at a time. And today can be the day you take that next step forward.